Merriman, right.
Thank you, Chair. Minister, welcome to your place. I'm a daily commuter on Southern, and indeed I missed today's deferred division vote because I was stuck on a train. Luckily, I've been speaking at a conference with the Labour MP, Peter Kyle, so we were paired off. If I can just ask about the industrial relations issue. In this inquiry, we've heard from the leader of the RMT, your predecessor as Rail Minister, and the Managing Director of Southern. Seemed to us that there were the seeds of some form of, certainly talks, agreement in place from what we've heard. Have the department been involved in talks with the RMT and Southern to try and reach fruition with this dispute?
We would certainly urge the GTR and the RMT to keep talking to resolve their division. I noted that Mr Cash did not seek confrontation with the government. He was very clear about that in the evidence he gave you. I have a good working relationship with the RMT. I do not seek confrontation either. I work with them closely in my constituency on safety issues at Blackpool North. So I think it is for both RMT and GTR's best interest to put the passengers' needs first and reach a resolution over what their concerns are. I am moderately perplexed as to what the RMT's genuine concerns are, but I believe that it can be resolved and would urge them both to keep talking.
So perhaps just forwarding on from there, we heard from the RMT ultimately that they were looking for some form of guarantee that there would be a second crew member on the train. Southern were able to give this committee reassurance and indeed a guarantee to the RMT that they would employ a second member of the train for the duration of the franchise. But that wasn't enough for the RMT. The Rail Minister, your predecessor, indicated that she was willing to look beyond the current franchise, because obviously that's out of Southern's control. So that's why it felt to us as if it had to be the Department for Transport that got involved in the talks, because the RMT were looking beyond what Southern could give. Hence I repeat the question, what's the Department of Transport, since we heard that good news, done about putting it into action?
Well, we've been very clear that in future franchising we expect franchise holders to invest in their workforce. We put great importance on the issues of quality with regard to new franchises. That will need to be delivered by onboard staff, by well-trained staff. The franchise holders will need to invest in the quality of their staff. There should be no dumbing down. So we can give assurances to the RMT about the future employability of their workforce in these onboard customer roles. They will be safety trained, but they will not be safety critical, because I think it's very important that if a train for whatever reason does not have the full complement of two safety critical staff, that train can still depart the station, as you pointed out in previous evidence sessions. So we've given as much guarantees as we can to the RMT about how we view the future of onboard staff.
But my difficulty is that the Department for Transport just seems to have sat back with this. It's saying it's down to Southern and the RMT to sort this out. Now, the RMT have told us that they are looking for something that Southern ultimately can't give. They're looking beyond the franchise end. Southern themselves have said they can't put anything in place beyond their franchise ending. This has to be for the Department for Transport to therefore get involved. And the reason why I ask this is because passengers, and I would include myself in this, have absolutely had enough. And in Brighton station yesterday, there seemed to be civil disorder. It's got that bad. And so for the Department for Transport to effectively to come back to us and no talks have taken place, I find that quite gobsmacking, really.
Well, we have sought to give it the reassurances that we can give to the RMT.
Could I ask you whether you would be willing to sit down, as we asked the Rail Minister, who said she was for the previous week, and I wish it had happened this week, would the department be willing to sit down with the RMT and with Southern, if nothing else, maybe to bang heads together, but to be part of that effort to bring a resolution to this? Because to me, Minister, that's what it needs.
I certainly would not rule that out.
Well, I'd ask you to do more than rule it out. I mean,
I will take advice and where we can seek to do that.